Welcome back to NY Flight Jets Talk. Did you guys see those rumors today? I'm sure you guys did. The rumors swirling around Jeff Ulbrich that he is linked to the 49ers. Also, we will be discussing who is the most realistic option for the Jets when it comes to addressing the wide receiver 2 problem. Let's get right into it. So, like I mentioned, there was a report that came out today that Jeff Ulbrich is quote unquote linked to the 49ers. Personally, I don't see in what world he leaves this Jets team. I think he's with this Jets team for good. Don't see him leaving at all. And then obviously we will be discussing who is the most realistic wide receiver 2 option for the Jets. Let's get right into it. Allen in here early. 23 minutes early, Alan. Very impressed with the graphics, CL. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate all your support. NY Jets super fan. What's up, boys? Go Jets. NY Jets super fan. I appreciate all the support. And we got our boy Gator in here. Hey, Gator, what's up, my man? How you doing, Gator? Gator is a legend. Gator is unlike anyone. I mean, Gator is a gift of mankind. All right, guys. So let's I mentioned the Jeff Ulbrich thing for a little. Let's start with the wide receiver twos, with the wide receiver 2 options. We have several directions the Jets can go in. Obviously, if you tuned in last night, Tigo and I were using the Jet X Factor off-season simulator, and there were some trades on there that were never really discussed about the Jets making that were interesting. So I'm gonna give some examples. We're gonna start with the guys that we know that we think they're at least gonna target right out of the get go. So we have Mike Evans. Mike Evans is an older guy. I'm not too old, but he's older. He's also a very expensive option but can produce at a very high level. So he's probably the most expensive, in my opinion, the Jets would go. Then you have the cheaper guys. You can go with a Calvin Ridley, who can still produce numbers. He had an okay year with Jacksonville, pretty average guy. Get him on a nice contract. I like Calvin Ridley. I think he's a solid option. Then you have Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton is mainly a target for the Jets due to his contract. He's a very favorable contract. I think he's a 2-year, $14 million. And I think that contract would probably best suit the Jets. If you guys didn't realize, there was a name that I did not mention. What rumors have been swirling, just like Jeff Ulbrich. I never see this happening. Justin Jefferson to the Jets. All right, so let's look at Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is going to require multiple first-round picks along with multiple second-round picks. This guy's going to want $30 million a year. Nick Shine, let me pull up the tweet real quick. Our boy Nick Shine of proud New York Jet fans said it perfectly on why the Jets would never target, why the Jets should not try to put together a package for Jefferson, and I agree with him. I mean, the guy's gonna want $30 million a year, as he deserves. I mean, he's one of the best players in all of football. So I do think he deserves a lot of money, but I just don't see the Jets going after him. At least, like, it's complicated just because of the package and the contract the Jets would need to pull off a Justin Jefferson trade. All right, so here's the tweet. Nick said, what did he say? Multiple first and $30 million a year before Bruce Hall, Sauce, Jermaine Johnson, and Garrett Wilson are all eligible for extensions. No, hell no. If he goes anywhere, it's Houston. See, I don't see him going to Houston personally. I personally don't see him going anywhere, but I agree with him. We have all those guys lined up for an extension. The package and the money, $30 million a year. He deserves $30 million. I just don't think by the Jets. But if you can, I think there are other playmakers out there on the market. I mean, some maybe possibility of trading for a Brandon Ayuk. There was George Pickens on the offseason simulator for a third-round pick, I believe it was. And then they also, who was the other guy? George Pickens and Mike Williams was up there for a third and a fourth, but he's an injury history, which is a little scary. Again, I don't see the Jets going after a Mike Williams guy. Like I said, I think the Cortland Suttons and the Calvin Ridleys are more enticing, so to speak, for the Jets. So I think the Jets are going to lean more towards those guys. Like I said, just don't see the Jets going after Jefferson. I personally like the package and the money with all the big three from that draft class are all up for extensions, like Nick Shine mentioned. All up for extensions. Why pay a guy $30 million a year? He is an incredible player. He's a top 5 player in this league. But there are also other playmakers out there on the market you can get for way, way cheaper. Way cheaper. And the cap hits, I mean, it arises so many questions where he'd get his money. The Jets have a lot of cap problems right now. I mean, a lot of dicey situations for the Jets when it comes to the cap. You look at CJ Mosley. Personally, I'd rather just have the Jets just take the $21 million this year and just eat that terrible hit. Just take it this year. Don't defer it till next year. Just take the hit. Tigo said it last night. He doesn't see them restructuring him. I personally, I agree with Tigo on that. I don't see the Jets restructuring him. And then there's another major situation kind of with the cap. You have Laken Tomlinson, who had a horrible year. There are several things that can happen. The Jets can say, we're just going to cut you. We're going to save the $8 million and eat the $10 million in dead cap. They can say, all right, you're coming back. We'll keep the salary, which I do not see happen. Do not see that happen. And or what they can do is they can just go out and say, do you want to take a pay cut? Can you take a pay cut? I mean, if you look at the statistics, we can find someone probably half, maybe even a third of his price who produces the same amount of numbers as him. I mean, he had a horrific season from Laken. All right. NY Jets superfan. The Jets are going to get a cheaper free agent wide receiver or a trade for day 3 picks. Yeah, I think the Sutton and Ridley, I mean, they're not too exciting, but they can make plays, and I think it's better than nothing. I think they're still 2 solid options. Damien. We can fix our offensive line in the draft, so spending a bit on Mike Evans, who we can bank on getting 1,000-yard plus season. 1,000-yard plus yard season seems attractive. Yeah, Mike Evans, I think, is still a great guy to target. I think he's a great option. Personally, my favorite out on the market. Also, and like you said, the most attractive. NY Jet superfan. I cut CJ Mosley post June 1 and save $17 million. I mean, it would be nice to save the $17 million, but we are probably going to have to hit the dead cap hit or whatever. I really like Mosley's leadership. I think he's helped Quincy a ton. I personally want to keep Mosley. I think he's a part of one of the best linebacker rooms in all of football. Cut Laken and Uzama too. Yeah, I agree with both of those, honestly. I've always been all for cutting Laken and Uzama. I think they both deserve to go as they both have not produced numbers to where their contract is, and I'd rather just get rid of them at this point. Going to Uzama, I want Rucker to get more snaps. I think Rucker deserves a lot more playing time, as he's shown flashes when he's played. And Laken, I mean, his contract is terrible. We could save, if we cut him, we could save $8 million. We do have to eat $10 million in dead cap. But if we just save the $8 million, I think that's a win for the Jets personally. Guys, pin comment in the chat if you'd like to call into the show. Love to hear your opinion with the Ulbrich situation and all things New York Jets. Pin comment in the chat if you'd like to call into the show. Like I said, I agree with NY Jets superfan. They are probably going to sign a Cortland Sutton, Calvin Ridley. If you remember, the Jets were interested in Calvin Ridley when he was on the market, when the Falcons were trading him, the Jets were interested in Ridley then. So I definitely think Ridley is a guy to keep your eye on for the Jets, along with Sutton. I think Sutton is another guy you need to keep your eye on. Those, like I said, the cheaper name guys who are on favorable contracts, I can definitely see the Jets going after. And I think it's not even just wide receiver too. I think they have a lot of other issues to address. I mean, tight end 3 could probably be filled by like Kuntz or Uboa or whoever, I don't know, sign someone, draft someone day 3. Jared Wiley in the 7th round maybe is an option. But you also running back. We need a running back too. Wide receiver, we need a 2 and a 3. Let's think. Offensive line, we need 2, maybe 3 new starters. Quarterback, we need a quarterback too. And Tico said it last night. They might not even carry a quarterback 3, which I think they're going to carry a quarterback 3 personally. And then defense, you need to re-sign 1 or 2 of those new safeties, or if you sign one, draft another guy, or pick up a small name guy in free agency. You look at defensive line, we got to re-sign. We need help on the interior. A lot of positions of need for the Jets. That's what I've been saying. Bryce Huff, now with the cap though, now with that cap extending a lot of money, I think the Jets need to tag Bryce Huff. I've seen a lot of rumors like on the Twitterverse with all these Jets fans saying about this transition tag. I'd rather personally just tag him. Tag him, pay him $20.5 million or whatever the tag is. Have him for 1 more year. Either prepare for an extension or just get 1 more year out of him, honestly. I'm a Jets super fan. I don't understand why Ulbrich would leave to stay as a defensive coordinator. I would only imagine him leaving to be a head coach somewhere. Yeah, NY Jets super fan. That's why I agree with you. I agree, and that's what I've been saying. He's not gonna leave. Trust me, he is not gonna leave for another defensive coordinator job. Now, let's say he is getting interviewed for a head coaching job somewhere. I'll make it up. Maybe Falcons or something. I don't know. Just thought of a random team. Oh no, they hired Raheem Morris. I don't know. I don't know. Some random team. Tries to interview him for the head coaching job. I think he would. If he got a head coaching offer, he would definitely leave the Jets. Personally, I see him leaving the Jets. Personally, I mean, I think he'd have to. If you get a head coaching job somewhere, oof, if you get a head coaching job somewhere, I think he would definitely leave the Jets to get that job. As he should. He's earned it. He has developed so many solid guys, and then also the credit goes to White Cotton also for developing Bryce Huff and those guys on the offensive line. Like I said, let's say the Titans. I'm just making Titans interview Jeff Ulbrich, and let's say they like him and they want to make a move on him. Then I see him leaving the Jets. I don't see him though leaving for a defensive coordinator job. Damien. I agree, Connor. We need to tag Huff before the new cap figures kick in. Yeah. I think the tag window opened the other day. Or today. Or yesterday. It was either today or yesterday. The tag window opened up. And I think that with that new cap, I think the Jets definitely need to go out. Just pay the $20 million for this year. Pay the $20.5 million this year to keep him. I think it's the best move for the Jets. Get 1 more year out of him. Either prepare for an extension or next year you let him walk. Damien does not think they will tag him. They will let him walk. Yeah, I thought all along that they are gonna let him walk, but I think that it gives us more hope now with the new cap rules. I think it gives us more hope to keep him. I don't know. I was when I had a conversation. It was streamed, obviously. I think it was around a month ago with Brian Costello of the New York Post, and he personally said he would rule out a tag and trade with Bryce Huff. And I I feel like we're lucky if we tag him. I really just don't see a scenario in which a tag-in trade would take place. I really, really do. I think a tag is probably what's gonna happen at best. I don't know. But like you said, the cap definitely plays a big role, and we have, like I mentioned the C.J. Mosley problem. We have a ton of problems with the cap, whether we take a hit this year or next year for Mosley, or we cut him, or there's so many different scenarios in which direction the Jets can go in with all their different cap kind of problems. And I think Mosley's probably the most enticing one because he came off a very rough year. And then another enticing one's Laken Tomlinson. There's a lot of enticing situations that the Jets are going to need to go one way on. But I think the Laken and the C.J. Mosley are the two most difficult ones because Laken was Joe Douglas's biggest free agent find, and C.J. Mosley, the leadership, the quality he brings to this this linebacker group, and there's possibilities of us cutting him. I still really don't see them cutting him. And my Jets super fan. We would need to make a lot of cap room to do that and sign free agents. What do you do? Tag Huff? Are you talking about? I'll get back to your question once you let me know who you were talking about. Jason Spitzberg. Hey, Connor. Hey, Jason. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm my Just Super Fan. Connor, do the simulator and see if we tag Huff. What does it do to the cap as well as signing Foss? Fashanu? I don't know who Foss is. We can do the simulator. If you want me to do the simulator again, I'll do the simulator. All right, signing free agents. You guys want me to do the simulator? I'll do the simulator. I thought the simulator was a great time last night. Really, really appreciate all the support last night. And I thought the simulator was actually pretty solid. So type in the chat, guys, if you'd like me to do the simulator, because I'll definitely do the simulator. Tell me what you guys want to see. Yeah, let's do the simulator, guys. Before we get to the simulator, guys, we got a caller joining the show. Great Gator. Gator, how you doing tonight?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Doing well. Like the microphone. Is that new? Because I remember last time.
No, I've always had it. I'm too lazy to set it up. But I just wanted to show you something real quick.
Of course.
I don't have any Jets takes. I'm sorry. You got to let me know if you like this, okay? It's real quick.
Right,
You ready? Did you see it?
I love that, Gator. Thank you. I really like that.
Just something I'm playing
That's
with
sick.
for. Okay. Cool.
That's sick. I really like it. I'll definitely send you more clips in the coming days, guys. Gator is working on a sick intro for the channel. So instead of playing that, we'll play the 30 seconds and then I'll talk for a little and then we'll start the show with the intro. And if you guys didn't see, Gator just finished his intro for Richie with Jets Media, and Richie played it for the first time on the show today, and it was an incredible intro. And obviously, Gator does all the graphics and videoing for the Jake Asman show with all the intros. Gator, I have a question for you. What are your thoughts on this Ulbrich kind of rumors swirling around him? Do you think he'd ever leave the Jets for another defensive coordinator job?
It scares me. I don't like seeing those stories. I don't want to lose that guy. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's I think we're gonna get so much news between now and, whenever any real news happens, I think we're gonna get a lot of, clickbait,
Yeah,
basically. Anybody that can, you know and this is how, everybody stays, interested, everybody stays into the game, it's just gonna be so much even the Justin Jefferson stuff is really just
I know it's
it's not even almost not even worth covering, but again, it's interesting and it's exciting to imagine him on the team, but, it's just not really realistic, obviously, and
yeah,
that, and, we're just gonna continue to get these things every day or 2. We're gonna get some kinda, you know, possibility that's gonna
yeah.
excite everybody, and then
It's
and then
dead
it's
2
gonna
weeks
go away.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's gonna be so much stuff that happens that is just never gonna happen. Just like these random reports until March 11th when free agency actually opens, and then that's when all the like real news actually starts to pick back up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure Jake's gonna come back from the combine with, some exciting news about, a new player maybe we ought to consider and this and that, and that'll keep us all going, those little things, but like I said, there's gonna be just, an endless amount of, like, rumors and stories. All it takes is one of those Twitter X, tweeters to just put something out there
Yeah,
and then everybody just runs with it, and that's fine, it's exciting, like I said, it keeps everybody, interested, but, it's all smoke, you know?
I agree. But like this whole Justin Jefferson thing, like you're right. It's kind of not even worth covering because I don't see in what world the Jets even make a move at him. But then now people are trying to, well, what could a Justin Jefferson trade package look like? I mean, I can't even imagine the amount of draft capital we'd have to give up. And I don't, $30 million a year. Whew.
I don't even care about the money. It's the picks, I mean, you're gonna mortgage away your future, with all these picks and then if it were to happen, it would almost be like Joe Douglas, who, would just be trying to save his job this year or something, but like mortgaging the future. We don't want to see that happen. I mean, how are you going to feel if next year we don't have a first or a third, and it's bad enough this year that we don't have a second and we're going to be sitting around after
Yeah,
that 10th pick wondering, we got to wait, so long for our next pick. And that sucks, but it was worth it for Rodgers, but, hopefully worth it for Rodgers. We'll see.
yeah. The second round pick does kind of hurt because there's so many guys in that second round that I feel like would fit the Jets. Personally, I look at this draft class and I think all around it's one of the most talented we've had in a long time. Personally, I believe. Last year I look at last year's. I thought it was an okay class. This year it looks like you can get any position on all 3 days, and they can have somewhat of upside, some upside. Like if you look, Sam Hartman, who was I guess decent college quarterback at Notre Dame, and there's a chance that he might be a undrafted free agent that someone can look to target. I think there's so much depth. I think there's a lot of quarterback depth. I think the day 3 quarterbacks are solid for the Jets to target. I think it's a good wide receiver class. I think I think the running back class is great, but other than that, I think they're great offensive linemen. I think it's a good class, and I think the combine will see a little more on who the Jets maybe should look at day 3, rounds 3 through 7.
Yeah, I one thing to keep in mind, and I don't know how if this has been said much, but you know, we have a defensive-minded coach, right?
Yeah.
Who we, for the most part, when we get a defensive player, I think in the draft, no matter what round it is, you almost feel like they have an edge that we're going to have a better
Mhm.
chance than maybe another team of developing them into something special. But on the offensive side, we gotta hope to get lucky like we did with Brees and Garrett, um, because I don't know how much developmental, talent there is on the coaching staff. I don't know that we have a whole lot of, um, confidence in the offensive coaching staff. So, somehow we got lucky with those 2 guys, but we need to get lucky with another couple or 2, 3 guys on the offensive side to, to be good coming in the door because I'm not sure we're gonna be able to develop them.
Yeah, I think the offensive staff definitely needs some additions. Like, if you look, do you think like Nathaniel Hackett does not deserve to be back on this team? He's back because of Rodgers. Keith Carter,
Sure.
there is not one reason why Keith Carter should be on this coaching staff. And then you look at Rob Calabrese is obviously gone, which should have happened a long time ago. And then the other moves that kind of got shuffled around. What was his name? Zach Oziani left the Jets or something and went to Pittsburgh, and then we brought in Sean Jefferson. Personally, if I'm being completely honest, I don't think the positional jobs really mean anything. And Tyler Embry left the Jets. I
Mhm.
look at those positional jobs and I look at them as kind of fillers. Like, yeah, you kind of need someone in there, but are they really all that important? I personally think it's offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach, and then obviously you have like the assistants, and then the special teams coordinator is there. But I don't think the position coaches are really that important.
Yeah, I mean that whole line coach is going to be important. That's for sure.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, someone knowledgeable coaching that offensive line.
and I'd love for us to get an assistant. I don't know if you want to call it an assistant head coach or an assistant OC,
Yeah.
whatever, to get to take Hackett out of the play calling. Because the thought of Robert Saleh doing the play calling, I mean, the guy can't even manage the game clock. I don't know how he's going to be calling plays, and you
Yeah, the
know,
commander. Yeah. Oh God. I
so yeah, we just got to hope that Rogers is the difference, right? He's the assistant offensive coordinator. Um, I mean, he didn't help when he was on the sideline really with Zach, but I don't think Joe Namath's ghost could have helped Zach. I mean, that's just a lost cause.
yeah, Zach. We look at Zach and we thought he was going to be the quarterback of the future. Obviously, it didn't pan out. So that's when we scrambled, and then we brought Aaron Rodgers in, and we obviously probably have this, like I said, up through 2025 to really win with Rodgers until we move on and either sign a developed quarterback or draft a young buck in the draft and try to develop him maybe. But then we still have to realize just because Aaron Rodgers might retire after 2025, this team is not done after 2025. If you look, we have so many young assets. This team, we just need a quarterback to throw Garrett Wilson the ball, and Garrett Wilson will have way more successful seasons. If you look, Garrett Wilson his last 2 years have had over 1,000-yard years, playing with Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Trevor Simeon, Mike White. He didn't play a regular season. He didn't get one regular season target from Aaron Rodgers, obviously, as he had 4 plays into the year. And then who Trevor Simeon, Tim Boyle, Zach Wilson, Mike White, and there's one more from last year. I don't know who, but they're 5 quarterbacks. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Hopefully, we never have to see anything like that again. Last year was toughest for me as a Jets fan, and I've seen a few more of these rounds than you. But hopefully, you don't have to have the pain that a lot of us have had through decades and decades of losing. It's enough already.
Yeah, I remember. Was it the whatever year we choked the Rams game for that? Oh no, the 2020 season it was when we choked that Rams game. That wasn't nearly as bad as this year, just because like I think they won one game that year. Like no one
Yeah.
cared because there was no hype around that team. I mean, it was McCagnon and Gase, or no, that was Douglas's first year or whatever. Douglas and Gase, and there were really no flashy players. I mean, if you look, Frank Gore was our RB1. No one really cared. It was so upset this year that we finished 7-10 because of all the hype we had surrounding the team. Aaron Rodgers coming in, being gonna be that quarterback to get Garrett Wilson the ball, gonna make plays. And Aaron Rodgers obviously gets hurt 4 plays into the season. And then we look to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson struggles. We bench Zach. We put Tim
Hmm.
Boyle in. Tim Boyle struggles. Once we put Tim Boyle in, the season was basically over. I mean, that was the Black Friday game. We reacted way too late. And you think Tim Boyle
Yeah.
is really gonna change the fact of the Jets making the playoffs or not? I mean,
Now, the turning point in the season to me was Zach looking halfway decent during the Kansas City Chiefs loss. because if he had looked miserable coming out of that, I think it would have gotten us another quarterback in sooner. But when he came out of that game looking great, even though we lost, he actually had like a great, what, 2 3 quarters. I don't remember exactly how much. It wasn't a whole game. He screwed up in the end and fumbled the ball, and arguably cost us the
Yeah.
game. But I remember a lot of Jet fans. I wasn't one of them. Saying how maybe he's the guy that maybe he plays like that. We've got our future quarterback here, and it started a lot of people just changing their minds about him. And then of course a couple of other games. I think it was the Houston game that he did well too.
Yeah, a
Um,
300-yard game or whatever. After he was like
yeah,
reluctant to play,
player
whatever that.
player of the week, right? Player of the wasn't he like the player of the week for the NFL?
Yeah, the AFC Player of the Week, and then we acted like we
Yeah,
won the
I
Super
mean
Bowl.
that'll be a trivia question 20 years from now that nobody will know the answer to.
Yeah, who was the Week 13 Player of the Week in
No.
2023? I mean, yeah, and the Houston game, like the Jets were basically they weren't officially out of playoff contention after that. But I mean, I feel like Jets fans got so overhyped. They're like, oh my God, Zach Wilson 300 yards after he was reluctant to play. He's back. He's going to be the quarterback of the future. Oh my God, 300 yards. We were on a whim all the way till we get to that Sunday against the Dolphins. Oh my God, we win today. Aaron Rodgers comes back at home Christmas Eve against the Commanders. We have playoff hopes alive. We go out. We lose the game 30-0, and Zach Wilson is done as a New York Jet. And I think Trevor Siemian finished the game up for the Jets, and then he started for the rest of the year or whatever. Yeah, Trevor Siemian did start the last 3 weeks of the year. Just horrible. And it was Zach Wilson. Obviously, finished week 1. We won, so Jets fans were happy. Didn't really think too much about it. We go into week 2. We lose that. We got slaughtered by the Cowboys, but no one expected us to really win that game. We go into week 3. We lose like 12-9 or whatever it was. Just Zach looked horrible. And then we play a very, very solid game against Kansas City. And then all the Zach hope is regained. Zach's career with the Jets has literally been like here to here, back down to here to literally not even relevant as an NFL third string quarterback.
He's usually never the reason we win, and he's often the reason we lose. So
There's never been a
I
game where
just, the thought of him ever being a Jet again it makes me nauseous. So hopefully this ride is over, because 3 years is way too much to have to watch him play football. Way too
well,
much.
the first year was kind of like we know we're not going anywhere, so why not just throw him out there? The
Yeah.
second year, last year, 2 years ago now, basically, we had some. Well, obviously he missed week 1. The Jets lost to the Ravens that week, I believe. Missed week 2. Joe Flacco comes in. That was the crazy, like onside kick game where we hit the onside kick.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw Zach's true colors where he really can't play. And then we benched him. Did we bench him at the end of that year? I don't remember. And then obviously we bring him back and expect him to be able to play a quarterback 2 role under Aaron Rodgers. And no, the Jets choke another season away.
Amazing. I mean, yeah, I like I said, I can't watch him anymore. I can't watch him anymore. I'm trying to drop a clip in here. I don't know if this is going to work or not. But if you watch this clip, and I put it in slow motion, and everybody watches this clip and says it's the greatest catch, one of the greatest catches that they ever seen by Garrett Wilson. But then you look at Zach's throw, and it's just awful.
Oh my, yeah, wow.
You know
I
what I
never
mean?
really
If you watch that in slow motion, how horrible that is.
I never really thought like yeah, wow.
I mean,
I
it's
never
just a
really
disgusting throw.
I never really thought that play, especially I was going crazy because Garrett Wilson tipped the ball to himself and caught it for a
Mhm.
touchdown. Wow, practically threw that ball to the other defender, and Garrett Wilson with one hand caught it, tipped it to himself, and scored a touchdown. And after that Patriots game, I mean the Bills game week 1, I'll admit I thought Zach could maybe muster out a few wins, but what upset me most is we didn't just at the deadline when we knew Zach is just horrible, just didn't even attempt. Maybe it was just a Josh Dobbs. I mean, Josh Dobbs eventually showed that he's Josh Dobbs after a few games with the Vikings. But I mean, a 7th round pick for a guy like him who can make plays. I don't know. I'd much rather that than Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, and Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I don't know. Well, I'm gonna get back to working on your open, pal. So you have something
Of
exciting
course,
to
thank you.
show you.
I really appreciate it. It's gonna be a great opening. I'll definitely send you some more clips in the coming days. Make it as
All
great as
right.
possible. Thank you for joining the
Well,
show.
we will. Take care, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, of course.
You're awesome, by the way. I mean,
Thank,
you hear it all the time. You don't need to hear it from me
thank you,
again, but I'm gonna say it anyway. But you started out strong, and you're only getting stronger.
thank
So
you,
keep it
Gator. I
up, man.
appreciate it. Great call by Gator. I appreciate it, guys. I don't know where to go after that incredible call. I mean, I can run the simulator for a little if you guys want. You guys still want to see the simulator? I'll run that for a little. I'll definitely. I like the idea that NY Jets Superfan had with the trades. We could do the simulator. So we'll run the simulator and then we'll probably end the show. Let's see. Start. Let me pull this up. Can you guys see it? All right, yeah, it looks like we're good. All right. Enter. Build on the momentum. Let's go. All right. Devontae Adams for first and a third. We're gonna be try to be as realistic as possible. So we're probably not gonna. Oh, you just want to see if we can keep Huff and sign the players we need. All right, so we'll skip to free agency. Oh yeah. Okay, I like your idea. First, before we sign anyone, though, I want to restructure some guys. So let's clear some cap room. Let's see. CJ Uzama. Bye bye. Don Franklin Myers. Let's restructure. I don't want to restructure Mosley. I like it. I like it. I'd restructure Reed, though. I'd restructure DJ Reed. Let's see. I'm going to cut Austin Cyber because we're going to re-sign Zerline. Let's see. What else am I going to do? I'm going to cut. Where's Lakin? Cut Lakin. And I think that's all the cuts we need. Now we have $40 million in cap room. I'm going to accept the 4-year, $60 million extension with Bryce Huff. I think it's worth it. NY Jets Superfan, you said just wanted free agency, so I skipped over the trades and you can't go back. So sorry, man. Let's see free agency and then we'll end the show. I just want to see how this would kind of work under the cap. I'm personally doing 4 years, $60 million for Bryce Huff. I think it's a great deal. And it doesn't count towards this year's cap hit. Let's go to the free agents. Oh, here we just scroll down. Carl Lawson, nope. Dwayne Brown, retiring. Jordan Whitehead at $3 million. I'm going to do that. $3 million, I think, is a great deal for Whitehead. Quentin Jefferson will come back to the $9 million. Clark, 2.5, sign me up. Zerline, $3 million, all day. Solomon needs to come back, a $3 million deal, especially. Hardy, we need the special teams back together. Connor McGovern, 1 year, $1.9 million. I'll probably do that to be our backup center. $1.9 million, I'd do that. Ashton, bring the safety room back together. Great year. Morstead, one of the best punters in football, bring him back. Al Woods, I think, is going to retire, so we're going to keep it as realistic. Bryce Hall, I'm letting go. I'm letting the Kai Becton go. I'm letting Yeboah go. So I think that's it. And now it's probably going to make us... Okay, oh no, here we go. We're in free agency now. After free agency, we'll end the show, but I just want to see this real quick. So if you look... Let's go to the tackles. Trent Brown, 2 years, $24 million. Whew. I remember Bakhtiari. $4 million though for Bakhtiari. I'll do that. $4 million for David Bakhtiari. I'll do it. The price is solid. I'll do that. And now we need another tackle. Actually no, we need a guard. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move AVT out to tackle. Get a guard. We're gonna bring Connor Williams in for $6 million. 1 year, $6 million deal. Connor Williams. I think that's solid. Now let's go over the wide receivers. We don't have enough room for Mike Evans. Wow, we don't have enough room for a lot of guys. Let's see. Wow, I really put myself in a hole with that trade. You're right, NY Jet Superfan. Did put ourselves in a hole with that trade. Jason, Connor the man. Jason, thank you for joining the stream. Much appreciated. So yeah, we really don't have a lot of cap room. Wow. Probably Noah Brown, probably. Noah Brown. Wow, that would be... Oh, he decided to sign elsewhere, so now we need to avert. Probably Isaiah Hodgins would be... Oh my god, now he decided to sign elsewhere also. Oh no, what's his name? I didn't scroll down enough. We have other options. What's his name? Darnell Mooney. I really like KJ Osborne also, but I'm leaning towards Mooney. Leaning towards Mooney here. Accepts. All right. I think we kind of addressed every... Oh no, we need a backup quarterback and a running back. With this little cap room, I don't think we can't find any running back. Let's clear more space. We really need... You know what? In this one, I'll cut Mosley, honestly. Oh no, we can't cut him. It's not going to cut him. I'll restructure him then. Yeah, restructure Mosley. Now we can sign any... Tony Pollard, 1 year, $4 million. I think that contract you have to bring him in. 1 year, $4 million. Oh, he goes elsewhere. So then the Cordero Patterson, $2 million. No, I like Gus Edwards there. Oh my god. Probably Swift at 4. That's next best option. NY Jet Superfan, you need $10 million for rookies. Yeah, I know. We're not doing a mock draft in this one, so I'm just trying to see what it would look like to fill out our needs. So yes, technically we would not be able to do if we want to sign all our draft picks, and then we need to clear some more space. I think if we want to sign a backup quarterback. So what would that entail us doing? Let's restructure Quinnen. I don't know. I like that restructure. Keep Quincy. Let's see how much money we have in cap. $7 million. Okay, we have more money in cap. Now we can go out and sign anyone. Oh, Russell Wilson. Best option right now we can fit in is looking like Tyrod Taylor. So I personally like Taylor. I think he would be the best option there. That was the mock draft. That was the off-season simulator from Get X Factor. I keep saying mock off-season. I was saying it yesterday. Also, guys, thank you for tuning into the stream. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all the support. And as always, JETS, 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 Jets.